Hi guys. Well, I just got ready for bed and I thought, shoot, I wanted to do a video. So don't mind my no makeup look. This is me, all natural, which you don't see very often. We came from a cross country meet and I was cold and felt dirty from being outside. So anyhow, this is what you get tonight. I had done a video yesterday, two of them, a couple days ago actually, not yesterday. And because I'm not techie and had done them in two separate videos, I couldn't figure out how to put them together and edit it. And anyhow, so this is what you get. So whatever I said yesterday, I don't even really remember, but I'll try and summarize it in today. There've been a lot of developments just today anyway, and yesterday. Um, so the kids are off school this week. They had yesterday, today, and they have tomorrow off. So it's been a lot of excitement around here. Lydia has done amazingly well. Like today was one of her best days she's ever had, which that doesn't happen on a day off of school. Yesterday was crazy, and we assumed that everybody would sleep in, including her. I should know better by now, right? I keep talking about this. The girl did not sleep in. So what the day, well, we went to bed kind of late, and then at 4:30 our smoke alarm went off. Not sure why, except that we ran the furnace for the first time, so I'm guessing it was something to do with that. And I mean, it just went off for like a half a minute, but it was enough to bolt me out of bed, scared me half to death, and thankfully somehow it didn't wake her up or anybody else for that matter, and it was just the one outside of our bedroom. So I'm guessing it's had something to do with the furnace. But anyhow, she is terrified of the smoke detector. For those of you who don't know, like if the smoke detector starts beeping because the battery's low, we have to take her out of the house until John can fix it. Like there have been times where I've had to have him come home and take care of it because I have to hold her and cover her ears, and it's just horrendous. So I was so thankful that she didn't wake up, but I did. And then a little over an hour later, at about 5:45, Noah got up for football practice and was banging around making all kinds of noise. So of course I woke up again. So I was dog tired and really hoping to sleep in. And once I'm awake, like it takes me a while to get back to sleep. And so like the first time I had just gotten back to sleep when Noah started making noise, and the second time it took me quite a while to get back to sleep again, and then she got up at 7, so which is like that's normal time for her, but we thought she'd sleep in because she had been up late the night before. So I was really tired yesterday, but we had a good day. We really didn't do anything. We were just lazy, but we had some things to take care of. John is working on some things, and so he was home because it was raining, and so he was busy doing his thing, and I was dealing with doctors and insurance company all day, and realized that this in order to go to Mayo, it's going to be quite a struggle. So I went to go print out Lydia's medical records from Sanford, her chart from Sanford, 1,400 pages long. No way, not printing that out. Sorry, Medicaid, you aren't getting that unless we get it to you a different way. So anyhow, I called the nurse consultant at the Medicaid office, and he called me back this morning, and we talked for quite a while, and it was a very good visit. So the question that I keep getting asked is, why are you taking her to Mayo? She has seen so many doctors here in Sioux Falls. We have her diagnosis. What is the reasoning you're taking her there? Doctors ask that, the insurance company asks that. But then on the other hand, we have all kinds of people who say, take her to Mayo, take her to Mayo, take her to Mayo. She's one of a kind. It's a rare disorder. There's nobody else in the world who has that. Why wouldn't you take her there? So I've been battling with that, like, because you get on one end, people are saying, you need to go to Mayo. And we went through that when John had cancer. People said, you need to go to Mayo, you need to go to Mayo, because Mayo's the best, right? Well, we have so many wonderful doctors here in Sioux Falls. And so when John was sick, that's what we told everybody. Like, hey, he's seeing the best of the best, and he's consulting with people outside of Sioux Falls. So we felt very comfortable with the doctors here in Sioux Falls. Now, there's a time and a place for it. There's there's always times when it's going to Mayo or another place is a good option and necessary. But so with Lydia, and the doctors keep asking, like they don't know how to help me get this covered by insurance because Medicaid has statutes that it has to follow, and so we were really struggling with putting together some information and how trying to figure out how to justify this. And when I called Mayo to get her in and I explained her situation and her diagnosis, they said she should come and see a geneticist. So that's why we had her scheduled to see a geneticist. Okay, so that's where it all kind of started. And but insurance is saying, wait a minute, we have a geneticist in Sioux Falls. Why would you take her to Mayo? And my response was, well, we've seen that geneticist 8 years ago, granted. And they said, we did the testing, we diagnosed her, really nothing else we can do. So there's no need for you to come back, but continue on and do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So that's what we've done for the last 8 years. But as a lot of you know, we feel like we've hit just a roadblock, a plateau of sorts, like just feel like things could be better. Are we doing the right things? And so just we're just not sure. And like I always say, we just want to give her the best quality of life possible. And so so I spent a long time on the phone with a guy named Ted. Ted was fabulous. We had a great conversation, and I've just been praying that if this is where we're supposed to go, if this is what we're supposed to do, that the Lord will open the right doors. And that if it's not, that He'll close the doors and give me a peace about it, right? Because that's, if I don't feel peace, then it's, it doesn't feel like that's what God wants, right? So in talking to Ted, he's like, Ann, I just don't know how I can justify this. He said, I know what the Medicaid, the head of the department or whatever, I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, we can't afford to cover these services out of state when we have them right here in Sioux Falls or in South Dakota. It's cheaper to do it in state. So, and I said, you're probably right. And I said, and I just felt this overwhelming peace. Like, I don't think this is what we're supposed to do right now. We had our hotel room reserved because we were going to have to go the night before. We had all kinds of arrangements made. But you have to do that. You have to be prepared. So that's what we had done. But I just felt this overwhelming peace, like, this is not right. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. And I said to him, I keep asking myself, because everybody keeps asking me, why are we doing this? And I asked John that too. And the only thing that I can ever say is, why wouldn't we do this? But the outcome is not going to change. They did the testing. We know, we're confident that that test is accurate. It's the same test that they would do at Mayo if they were going to do further testing. Like, there's no need for further testing, right? So they've already done it. We have her diagnosis. We've had it for 8 years. We just want to find something better. Like, we just want to make her life better, make our life better. But I don't think that the genetics department is where we need to be doing that at. But I went there because that's what Mayo said. That's where they said to start. So, and I said, well, once you're in the door at Mayo, won't they kind of move you around to the appropriate doctors? And he said, yes, but that's where the problem comes in, because it doesn't mean Medicaid. You have to get approval for every specialist that you see at Mayo, and it doesn't mean that Medicaid's going to pay for it. So he said, you really run into problems when you do that. So I said, I thanked him for his time and for all of the work that he's put into her case, because I do believe the man has spent hours on this, and so have lots of other people. And I'm very grateful for all of the help and all the different people at Avera and Sanford, because she sees providers at both places and how they work together and have worked to help us. I really appreciate that. Well, so backing up a little bit, our old nanny McKenna, who's now getting her master's degree in speech pathology, went to a conference or something the other day, and I've said all along, like, we might have another option. So when she was at this conference, she was told about this specialist at Mayo who specializes in apraxia. Hi. Did you go to Cherryberry? Can you say hi?
Hi.
Lydia and Hannah went to Cherryberry. Hannah, what?
They did.
Say it again.
Did.
Oh.
If I would.
Oh.
Take over.
You hear it all on here. So anyhow, so she heard about the specialist in apraxia, and you can be with me, but you have to be quiet, okay? While I talk, and I'll give you a chance to talk. Are you leaving, Chloe? Bye, Chloe. Have a good night. Chloe's going on a sleepover with her friend since there's no school, and so that's kind of fun. Even when you're 17, it's still fun. Girls' night is fun. So, so there's specialists in apraxia. I said to McKenna, that might be perfect. Okay. Sorry. I said that might be the way to go. So I kind of put that on the back burner, and then all of this happened. Well, in the meantime, on Tuesday this week, we had a meeting with Lydia's team at Harrisburg, and then the Learning Center director from Sioux Falls Christian. It was an excellent meeting. John went, I went, and my cousin Kim went, who's a school psychologist, because she helps me ask the right questions. She helps me decipher what they're telling me and make sure that Lydia gets the best possible therapies and services that she can at school. So I'm so grateful for that, and I was grateful for John's support, because sometimes he sees things at a different angle and he hears things that I miss, and so it's just good to have a team of people there. And I'm so grateful for the team that we have that supports Lydia, because it would be very overwhelming if I was doing this by myself. But in the meeting, we talked specifically about speech, which, if you remember, when we did her IEP last spring, language therapy was not a part of that. And speech therapy is, but specifically articulation, not necessarily language therapy, which is different. And that was a concern for us, and which is why we had requested this follow-up meeting in the fall to see how she was doing. And so, sorry, I'm distracted by the noise in the living room. They're having a conversation about football. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, they're kind of loud. So we didn't know who her speech therapist was going to be this year, and it turns out it's somebody I've never met, which always makes me nervous. It doesn't mean that it's somebody bad. It's just something you just don't know. So it was great to meet her, and I had a little email correspondence with her. She's fantastic. We've had so many great therapists for Lydia, and it's just, I'm always so grateful and impressed, and this gal is no different. She's fantastic. And we've always thought that Lydia's muscles in her mouth are uncoordinated, which makes it difficult for her to chew food. So there's certain foods she stays away from, like she will not eat steak or roast or anything tough like that, because it's so much work. And then if you've ever been around her after she's eaten, the food gets around her mouth no matter what she eats every single time. It can be one cookie, one whatever, a carrot. I mean, she will get something around her. And I think it has to do with the muscles in her mouth, something oral motor. And so in therapy, they've kind of worked on different feeding things and kind of trying to determine what's happening there. And, or is it just that Lydia's being stubborn and won't eat certain foods, and do we need to work with her, So at OT, they've been kind of working on food things. So anyway, her speech therapist kind of hinted to that there's something oral motor happening, but she can't speak, hi, Lydia. She can't speak necessarily on the medical part of that. And I have a visitor, so if you're going to be here, you have to talk about, show them what's in your cup. My stars, like, can you say break from school? Because the rules have apparently gone out the window. Like, that is so unnecessary and gross looking. Oh, but fun. So, those are the things we do when we don't have school. We try and make things fun. So anyway, Mom, I said, yep, that's a lot of money. So, I said to Ted, what if we were able to get into this apraxia specialist at Mayo? And he said, that is specialized. We could justify that so much easier. And, but he said, you have to start in Sioux Falls. So, and this afternoon, Lydia's developmental pediatrician called me herself, which is so incredible. I think anytime a doctor calls you personally, it takes time out of their busy day. There are so many cases, so many patients, and for her to take time out of her day after yesterday she had been out sick, so today was like she's doing double duty to catch up, and so just for her to personally call me herself when we have an appointment scheduled with her on Monday, she could have waited until then, but she knew that we had this appointment coming up and she wanted to do what she could to help us. So she said it's like serendipity, and I'm like, no, it's God's will that this happened. And so she said, I will email some people right now when we hang up. So she's going to contact some people, and well, I'm sure she already has. And excuse you need to maybe go in the other room for a little bit. So she's going to try and get the ball rolling here in Sioux Falls to see if there's somebody within the Sanford network that could see her and that maybe knows something about apraxia, a neurologist. I'm just not sure where to go. I have followed other families who have kiddos with apraxia, and everybody's always like, well, who do you see? What do you know? A speech therapist, obviously. We've seen several fabulous ones. The one that got us all started on this, he's incredible. So he's the one that diagnosed her with it, and so we'll contact him too and see what his thoughts are. But then that would get us in the door at Mayo, and it would justify Medicaid's coverage of it. We're not going this week. Nope. And Lydia's thankful that we're not going to Mayo. Why are you glad that we're not going to Mayo?
Yeah, because they broke my finger.
They'll poke your finger, maybe take blood, and you don't like that? Yeah, it can be kind of scary, but it's really no big deal. That makes me yucky. Sorry. So stay tuned. Sorry for the long, drawn-out story. Just wanted to catch you up to speed for those of you that have been praying and thinking about us. That's what's happening. So if you keep praying that the right doors will open where they need to be opened, and that the doors will close where they need to be closed, and that we'll have peace about it, and very grateful that we don't have to have the anxiety of that trip coming up, and Lydia can just rest easy. Monday we do see her developmental pediatrician and her psychiatrist, so those will be easy peasy visits. They'll weigh and measure you and take your blood pressure, but that's it. And then they'll just visit with us. So yeah, so that'll be good. And then behavior therapy tomorrow. And then what's Saturday?
Football game.
Hobo day.
I need my guys.
Yeah. So Saturday's hobo day, and Lydia, we'll talk about that later. Oh, always wants to know when's this, when's that. So if we can have everything on every calendar in the house, and we have several, and yeah, it's just something that she's always got to know what's happening. So we try and talk about it as much as we can. We started the picture schedule again a little bit this week. We didn't really work on it today because we left the house super early. Went to Brookings. Noah had a college visit at SDSU, and we got to have, what did we have for lunch? We had SDSU ice cream after lunch. What did we have? Where did we go for lunch? You do too, Noah. Where did we go for lunch with Kim and Grandpa and Grandma and Hannah? We went to Chick-fil-A on campus, so that was fun, and then walked over and had SDSU ice cream. And we hustled back so Noah could get to practice, and then we went and watched Chloe's cross-country meet. Lydia got to hang out with Nanny Sabrina. They went to Panera Bread and did some work there. They both did some work. Lydia did some drawing and writing, and Sabrina worked on some homework, and they enjoyed some mac and cheese. And now Cherry Berry. My goodness. What is tomorrow? Whose birthday? Daddy's birthday. No. It's John's birthday tomorrow. So, not sure what we're going to do because he's working, and we've got lots of other things going on, and football game tomorrow night. So, busy weekend, but all fun stuff. And Sunday we'll relax and watch football after church, and chili has been requested, so no nap. I'll probably take a nap on Sundays, which means she probably will too. Today, she didn't want to take a nap, but she laid down, and guess who took a nap? This girl. She took a nap. She said she wasn't tired and didn't need one, but she took a nap. So, we see that tongue a lot. Don't like it, but we try to ignore it. So, anyway, this girl's going to finish her ice cream, wash her hands and face, brush her teeth, and we're going to hit the hay. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend.